Good evening, everyone, and welcome to a Simply Colorful FiberCast. Today's date is June 7th, 2019. My name is Lynn Marquidant, and I'm your host. Welcome. This is clue number 6 on June 7th, and next week we'll have clue number 7 on June 14th. A little confusing, but not really. If you're joining me in the mystery, thank you. I hope you're having as much fun as I am. Behind me are the 21 blocks that we made last week, the compass blocks, and this week, comparatively, we have a very easy week. We are making 56 of these 4 patches. They should measure 6.5 inches unfinished, so they'll be 6 inches when they're finished, and they're made from dark red and dark blue. That's it. So I have my squares cut out. You're supposed to cut out 112 blue. I think this is a few more than 112. And 112 red, which I've done. You'll notice that's kind of a medium red, but I'm okay with that. And it's okay. If you put medium reds, it's fine. Like behind me in last week's clue, here, if you had medium reds or lighter reds, or if these weren't as dark, in the end, it's going to be just fine. So welcome to the Simply Colorful FiberCast and to our Mystery Quilt. For those of you who might not be joining us in the mystery, please do. It's free. And if you don't catch us this time, catch us next time. And the best way to do that is to subscribe to our YouTube channel. And it's YouTube/Simply Colorful. Okay, I also have a lot of other things, random things to share with you in addition to making our 4 patches. In fact, just before I turned on YouTube, I was making binding, and I'd like to finish that if that's okay. Meanwhile, so I'm going to put these right over here for now. Send whatever you're working on, pictures or videos or notes, to me at lynn@simplycolorful.com, and we will share it. You'll notice we're not doing overhead because this is, how exciting is 4 patch on overhead? There's no need to do it, I don't think. And so this is, for those of you, if Katie's watching out there in Pennsylvania, I want it to be known that I am doing binding the right way, and I'm cutting on the diagonal. The reason you do that, for anyone out there, for a reminder is, and I usually don't, by the way, you know me, it's because when you fold it in half, the seam, the weight of all the extra fabric gets distributed across the seam, so that when you go to sew it on, both initially and then the hand sewing, you don't have one bulky edge. If you butt it up, let's see. If you just do it the old-fashioned way, which I always have done, and you just sew there, like, let's do that just for kicks. You have this seam, even if you cut it down to 1/4 of an inch. When you straighten it out, and again, even if you open it up, when you go to fold it, you end up having an area where you have 4 layers of fabric there in one place. And then when you fold it over again to do the hand sewing, well, it's 4 layers that you have to sew through. Compared to this, when I fold it in half, when I'm sewing it on the quilt, I'm only doing 1, 2, 3, 4 there and there. Let me count that again. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. This must be 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. No. So why would that matter? Okay, here's our first question. Why, in fact, then, do we do this fancy binding if we're still have 4 and 4. It must just be when you fold it over, you don't have a big bulge. That's what it is. See this? If I fold this over and then I fold it over again, you have that big bulge right there. Okay, so we don't want big bulges. It's summertime, don't you know? Yikes! The thought of getting into a bathing suit. Ooh. Okay, so let's start over here. I just want to finish this up, and then I promise we'll get right into the next clue. Okay, so there's that. And then put it at right angles, draw it, cut a 1/4 of an inch seam, use a pin. I think I only have 2 more of these to go. But I have been up in the attic all day. So I have treasures to share with you that I found up there. Although mostly, I must admit, things weren't treasures. There were some empty boxes. There was definitely still a lot of wool. And we continue to sell that on eBay. So thank you to those of you who have been buying wool on eBay. It's great. I haven't been selling any of the wool that I've dyed. I've just been selling the yardage so that you can dye it. Okay. Whoops. Didn't leave my little ruler. I got this little ruler at Missouri Star. Does everyone remember this? I love this thing. It's 2.5 inch, so it's perfect when you're using your pre-cuts of 5 inches. If you need to cut them right down the middle. Okay, is that it? Yep, that's it. So let's do our 4 patches. So here we have now what I'll do tomorrow, standing up, when I have the big ironing board, is I'll just fold this in half and iron it all down. Okay, and this is for next Tuesday. We have to show our challenge quilts. We have, I think it was Pantone Challenge. We were given fabric at the beginning of the year, of our Quilt Guild year, and we were told we could do anything we want. So I've made a quilt, or I'm in the process of making a quilt. It's not done. And I'll bring it to Tuesday's guild meeting. But it pales in comparison to, I'm sure, what others are making. And so this is Simply Colorful FiberCast is all about anything having to do with fiber, not just quilting, right? So a friend of ours, a woman who was in the guild, has been doing smocking. Let's see if I can find you the big. Oh, here's a picture of flowers that I just put on top of our fireplace. Aren't those pretty? Okay, let's see if I can show you the smocking machine. Here we go. I honestly had never seen a smocking machine. I'd only ever done it by hand. Can you see that? So Becky McDonald over at the Studio on the Hill over in Holliston, Massachusetts, she is making a smocked dress for her granddaughter to wear at her daughter's wedding. And this machine here creates all those pleats in her lawn. It's a white lawn fabric. You might be able to see those pleats that now she can do her embroidery on, her smocking on top. So stay tuned. And again, it's just amazing how that machine works, and it's pristine. It's in pristine shape. Anyway, thank you for sharing that, Becky. Oops, there's my light. We'll put that there. So what do you all think of my blocks? I've been seeing Carol's blocks and Allie's blocks and Ann's blocks in the different colorways and KB's blocks. KB out in Pennsylvania is preparing for what looks like a really fun yard sale. So if anyone's in PA, Pennsylvania, needs a leaf blower, I think I saw, or a, so try to mix this up. Like, I don't want the same fabrics. You know what I mean? In my 4 patches. And what we're going to do is web it. So start with your blue on top, and then do the next one with your red on top. How cool was it that this clue was only a 1-pager? I don't know if I've ever done that before, have I? I'm getting my clue. I want to see which way we said to iron it. Iron toward the blue, that's what I thought. Okay. Okay. So here we have our 4-patch, and I'm going to, I'll start flag piecing these in a minute, but I want to show you one. Oh my goodness, excuse me. Yikes. Congratulations to all the parents of our grads, or anyone out there who is a grad themselves, a graduate of school. Congratulations. Okay. So I've pressed the blue toward the blue on both sides. So now I have a nice nested seam. And I know I've gone over this before, but I like when I nest my seam, I want my top edge or seam to be facing upward, so that when I go down, it gets it nice and fed in there. Let me try that again. The action of the foot right here and the feed dogs are such that it's pushing the blue crease into the other crease. And so we're getting a really, hopefully, a really nice tight 4-patch alignment. Yep. It's kind of hard to tell because we've got this patchwork that's off the plaid. I'm okay with that. I bet some people are not, but I'm okay with the plaid being a little bit off. And then I spin my seams. So cut that little piece of fabric, pull it tight. And for this one, there we go. The seam is spun. Okay. So we need 56. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 are done. This is going to be such an easy clue compared to last week. Woo! Oh, if Deb is out there, Deb, I think, was the first one to finish all of her blocks. First off, great job, Deb. For someone who doesn't do Scrappy, you are doing Scrappy very, very well. And number 2, congratulations on finishing up a career as a high school administrator. Great work. And have fun in the next chapter. Okay, so here I'm just trying to do random. Blue on red, then red on blue. So you've got some nice dark ones here. Oh, and I just don't want to do any repeats. Sometimes I remember to cut it, sometimes I don't. Jean, if you're out there, I hope your sewing's going well. It was great to see you today. Oh, that looks like it wasn't cut right. I have so let's start talking about destashing. First off, this quilt. So this quilt that we're making here that we're calling Freedom, that we're in, again, week 6. We have 3 more weeks after this. This is going to be quite the quilt. We're making it with scraps. So the whole idea was to use up scraps that we have in our houses. Don't buy any new fabric, just use what you have. And I mean, you can buy a little bit here and there if you really need some other colors. So first off, everything I have is all cut. So I was putting away my reds and my blues. And I swear to you, I have more fabric now than when I started. I don't know how it happens. I almost took a picture of it for you. It's crazy. I do know how it happens. The volume, you get air inside your scraps. What once was all folded nicely is all discombobulated and not folded, and so it puffs up. That's a really, almost a purpley one, but I want to keep that in. Remember, more variety, the better, is my preference on these scrappy quilts. So let's talk about decluttering, destashing, making our lives more manageable and simple. Okay, there's one. So I've been doing that. I've been selling wool on eBay for the last few weeks, and that's going well. I've got a routine down. So I list everything on Mondays or Tuesdays, and then the auctions end on Sunday, and then I ship on Monday. And like I say, not a lot, but so that feels good that the wool is going to people who can use it. I started to do my closet. I still have that to do. But okay, so what else did I do today? Up in the attic, we have a pool. Doesn't that sound funny? I have a pool in my attic. No, it's the makings of a above ground pool that we used. I think we put it up for 2 years, and it was great. And I really did even think about doing it this year. And who knows, maybe we'll still get the itch. But I carried everything down from the attic to the front hallway. So it'll necessitate us doing something, right? And everything except for the ladder and the liner. The liner is very heavy. So that's one thing. That was a big thing that I was able to get out. I also was able to find some upholstery fabric that I'm bringing out to Katie. Katie Miller is making upholstery bags. And I have some nice bags of what I think are nice bags of upholstery fabric. Hopefully it can be washed and sort of freshened up the smell, the kind of smells. And it'll be interesting to see if any of the fabrics, which are old, are deemed usable or saleable. So anyway, that's all in the car, ready to go to Pennsylvania. What else did I do? Sarah came over and she took some yarn. So thank you, Sarah, for that. I don't have too much yarn, really. Oh, books. So I'm starting to put bring books to the library, friends of the library. Not that I have a lot of books, but I just love online libraries now. So that's, oh, and I just got the first volume of Louis Penny's Inspector Gamache series. So I'm psyched to start that. I was told start at the beginning, so I had to go and wait list it. And so I'm going to start that this weekend. Okay, so you get the idea for these 4 patches. You just don't want 2 of the same. In the 4 patch. Aren't you curious how it's going to fit with this? And you'll see I'm doing blue and red and then red and blue. Okay, I'm going to check and see who's out there. So again, for anyone who's new, welcome. We've been doing FiberCast for a long time now. We're in our 6th year, believe it or not. And thank you to all of you who have been with us since the very beginning. What we do is we mix things up. We do a lot of quilting, but we do other fiber art, which I'm going to show you some other things in a minute. We also share and meet each other. So send texts or emails. And we're getting to that time in the year when it's hot. So I apologize. We don't have any AC here in the studio. So it just gets a little hot. Okay. Hey, Jean. Hi, Jean. Jean says, I'm sewing and watching. How do people find you on eBay? Oh, great question. Thank you for asking. Okay. I'm going to tell you my name. Here's the thing. I've been on eBay for years, and I've now gotten myself 2 eBay handles. So what you do is you look for, ready? Get a paper and pencil, because this is kind of a funny name. I'm sure maybe there are other ways to look for it too, but you can find everything that I'm selling currently, which I only have 5 things active right now. Go to MARUS -Q5 LOBVM. And I know, Jean, you're rolling your eyes and thinking, how in the world are we ever going to remember that? I know you were the one who said, get your email, lynn@simplycolorful.com. And I did, and it's so much easier. I did have L. Marquidant somewhere in eBay. Anyway, what I'll also do is I will post one of these current active listings. And all I have for wool that's active right now is I'll show you. I have door swatches. So if anyone likes to do fine shading, There is a white door swatch, which really is like celery green and darker. And then there is a wood rose, a pink one. And you can see what my past auctions, I think, and that will show you the yardage of wool. So, and I'll be listing more wool this Sunday. So next week there will be wool. Probably the most interesting thing is I'm selling a Bliss portable stripper for cutting your wool, slitter. And there's no reserve. This is an excellent tool. So anyone who it's my favorite aside from a Townsend, which is really, who has that? That's a very fancy wool slitter. This Bliss wool slitter is the one that I kept coming back to. And I've used the Rigby, and I've used, I can't remember some others, but others. Again, aside from the Townsend, which is excellent, that would be my first choice. This is a good one to have for your wood. -Q5 LOB VM. Okay. So who else is out there? Karen. Ooh. She says, sorry I can't join you tonight, but I'm thinking of you. I'm just about finished with last week's clue. Love it so far. Happy weekend. Same to you, KB. And I know you're getting ready for your bonanza, meaning your garage sale. And don't think I didn't think, or I did think of filling my car with stuff from my attic. Honestly, I did think of this. Putting it all in my car, as much as I could stuff in there, and driving out to you first thing tomorrow morning to try and sell it at the end of your driveway. But then I thought, better heads prevailed. And I realized the cost of gas alone to get out there would probably be more than I sold. Plus, and more importantly, I have Doll Club tomorrow. And we're going on our annual lunch trip. So I'm getting picked up at 9:30, and then we'll go do our little morning Doll Club business and work on our projects. And then we're going to go out to eat. So have fun with your garage sale. Thanks for the text. Thanks for sticking with me on the mystery. I know this, I didn't want to call this mystery a doozy because it's not like the paper piecing doozy of a few years ago that I know, Leah, you did a remarkable job on, and several of you did. Just stunning. But there are a lot of pieces to this one. And I do hope that when we're done, you are tickled pink with the outcome. I sort of wish I had more variety on my darks here, but that's okay. It will be fine. This is definitely lighter than a dark, but again, I wanted to add a little bit of interest. This is a little unusual, and it's probably more of a medium too. Okay, so what else do I have to show you? Because I know you can all do 4 patches. And it sure does feel good just to sew away here. But I also wanted to show you some other things that I've been working on and I found upstairs. Well, first off, this is adorable. I found this in my scrap pile, and it makes me want to make funky houses. Isn't that adorable? It's got a little ladybug in the middle, or a cat. No, a ladybug. So check out our past episodes if you ever want to do funky house freeform quilting. Maybe we'll do that this fall. That would be really fun. Okay, so I also found this. And this is balls of yarn, Egypto cotton. And it's bamboo and cotton. Let's see. Bambino cotton. Shashinmayer. Made in Romania. 100% cotton. Oh, listen to all these different words for cotton. Bomb wall, cotton, cation, catone, algodon, algodao, bomul, and bomold. It's Egyptian cotton. Anyway, I have 2 of those, and I have 2 of these, which are really cool too. I remember this. This, I believe, is a wool, maybe with a little nylon in it. It's lovely. And look at this. Beads. How pretty are these? And are any of them already strung? Yes. Okay, so these beads, Preciosa, traditional Czech beads, $5.37. Ooh, they're pretty. Okay. These, so those, none of those have been touched. But check this out. These have been strung already. Question is, see, I know what we're going to make, and I have a finished example of what this makes. So maybe rather than this seems to be in good shape, that I really could pick this up and make it, I think. It would be a shame if somehow, after putting all these beads on this, I don't want it to come off the other end. You know what I mean? Okay, so there's one. And here is another. And they're connected to the 2 balls of thread. Okay, of yarn. So that's very pretty. So what is it all going to make? I'll show you. This looks like another one ready. You may remember this. And maybe we finished it on a FiberCast. It's a scarf with beads at the end. Like a flapper. Isn't that fun? So I have materials to make 2 more scarves. And look at how long this is. I can wrap that around many times. So that was fun. A fun find, and something I'm still interested in doing. Then, while we're on the bead theme, I found a couple of beading books. I found my beading bracelets and then bead crochet ropes. So crocheting with very fine thread, and then you put a bead in between each crochet. That's what I'm going to try next, I think. So it's bead crochet rope. And Mary Lou Toussaint taught me how to do this. Okay. Now, the last thing I have, well, actually, let me see who else is out there. Oh, cool. Jean says, Buy Nothing and Hopkinton Online Yard Sale. These are good Facebook groups for selling or giving away stuff in your attic. Thank you, Jean. I will check that out. Cool. Have fun on your walk. I'm sorry to miss that tomorrow. I would like to do it. Okay. Who's out there? Hey, Carol Bell. Hi, Carol. Carol says, hi, Lynn and FiberCasters. I hope you've all had a good week. She says, I'm sewing red and blue 4 patches. She says, well, I've sewn 81 pairs and I'm currently sorting out the last few blue squares so I can do the needed number. Oh, Carol, thank you. She says, you were talking about binding and why we use a diagonal seam. Well, remember this diagonal seam. She says, each seam gives us 4 pieces of fabric. But when you put binding on, you fold the strip in half, giving you twice as many pieces of fabric, 8. To sew it to the quilted sandwich and sew doubled strip down onto the quilt. That gives you 16 layers of fabric in the binding plus your sandwich. Wow. When doing the binding on the diagonal, the seams are spaced out along a section of the binding. Can you tell that I've been helping out in the accounts department for the last few weeks? I love it. Should have the staff back in the next few days. Less overtime, but more sewing time. Carol in Yorkshire, England. I love it, Carol. Oh, busy, busy. I'm interested. So you're in the accounting department. I do. I think a lot of us quilters do things with math and accounting, don't you? I didn't know you did that. Well, good. Bring in reinforcements soon. And thank you for that explanation. And I love seeing your progress. Carol, hi, Carol over in Natick. She says, hello, Lynn. I thought sewing on the diagonal for the binding distributes the tension of the yank when you pull the quilt up under your chin on a cool night. That too. I love that. Great to see you tonight. Happy sewing, Carol O. You too. Carol, I love that. You are an engineer. Okay. So again, it's Lynn at simplycolorful.com. I know we're going into the very quiet period of our year. So I know that our viewership is light, which is completely understandable. Okay, so just keep doing your 4 patches. And it was a nice reminder. So I'm thinking about history in this day. Granted, it's the 7th of December, but yesterday's D-Day commemoration of 75 years. I was thinking how old my mother and father and grandmother and grandfather were during D-Day. And okay, this is good. And it really, D-Day, I guess it used to seem like so long ago, right? But when you think about having parents that were living, grandparents who definitely were in the throes of it. Okay. I don't really have that much more to say about that, other than thank goodness for our freedom and thank goodness for people who make sacrifices for us, because it's to keep us safe. I just want you to know I don't take it for granted. So what else? Looking at setting up more of a schedule around here, doing lots of quilts. Remember, if you're doing this quilt and you want it quilted, batting is on me, so send it on in. And if you have any machine quilting needs or you have friends that do, please pass our name along. We'd love to do it. Our turnaround's pretty fast. definitely getting the hang of this sewing machine more than I did. It's just very sensitive, I've discovered. But, and it just makes a noise that I'm getting used to. And now I'm all discombobulated. Ooh, that's a little different. Remember, we used that in the body here of the quilt. It has a little bit of yellow and a little bit of green. So what's that saying that's been floating around by Picasso? Learn all the rules so then you can break them. So maybe that's what we're doing. Now I want to make sure I get my darks in. Okay, a couple more. Like this one, see this one, how I love this fabric. It almost looks like fireworks on the front, but the back is black or blue. So I'm going to use both sides because I don't have any solid blue. And I've done that a fair number of times in the body of the quilt where, especially on the neutrals, the neutral was just a little too blue or pink, or something was just a little too deep. And so I turned it to the wrong side, and that tones it down, and it acts as a neutral. So don't always think of the fabric as just the right side. On these scrappy quilts, I know that in some cases you can't really always use the back side. Had a great time this week sewing with Ann and Kelsey and Jean. Thank you guys. I highly recommend, for if you're out there and if you're not in a local sewing bee or a group, definitely, I hope you can find others to sew with locally. If for no other reason, then first off, it's excellent for, ooh, that's not a square, Houston. It's just good for you to be out there with your friends. It also is a way to learn from each other and explore together. Oh, there's a different one too. See, that has pinks and greens in it, and I'm going to use it. I've been getting some good walks in with my Garmin, but I noticed that I've been wearing it on this hand and it wore away a little bit there. I don't know what that's all about. So I'm putting it here. Just FYI. Okay, we will wrap this up soon. You just keep going and going like the Energizer Bunny. And I thought I would give us this clue this week in case you need to catch up. So no problem if you do, just keep on. Wherever you are in the process, just keep on. let me do one more, then I'm going to check email, and then I'm going to show you one more beading project. And then I'm going to show it to you, and then I'm going to go do something and give you a report next week. How does that sound? Okay. Who's out there? Who's out there? I wonder if Becca's out there. She gave me a good idea. She said, you always say, who's out there? You should make a cozy, tea cozy or something. Who's out there? Hey, Kathleen. Kathy's hot in Florida too. I'm glad to know it's hot elsewhere. Kathleen says, hi. Just to let you know I'm here. I too have been destashing. It feels good, right? She says, I have no idea how my closet's got so full. It's time to let go of things that I haven't used or even seen in years. Exactly. Oh, Kathy, I'm so glad you're out there. Yep. And look at it. If it doesn't bring you joy, just kiss it and say goodbye. I love that. Stay cool. Aw. And Allie down under. Hi, Allie. She says, hi, Fibercasters. I'm all up to date and ready to start the new clue. I got sidetracked doing family tree while watching and then need to go grocery shopping, then back to start the clue. Woohoo. That's right, because it's Saturday morning where you are, and it's fall/winter. She says, I won't be able to watch live the next 2 or 3 weeks because I'm going on a last-minute cruise. She says, I got a great deal. Happy sewing. Love, Allison. Well, Allison, you just go have a blast. Please keep posting. We love to see where you go. And thanks for writing in. Happy shopping. Excellent. Excellent, excellent. And we will keep on going. And then when you get back from your cruise in July, you'll catch up quickly. It's all downhill from here. Famous last words, right? Frankly, I don't know what you think, but we could probably stop right here and you could turn that into a quilt. But don't you fear, there's more. Okay. One more of these, then I'll show you my beading project, and then we will call it quits. Okay. So just to recap, you want 56 of these. They measure 6.5 inches by 6.5 inches unfinished. You want 56 of them. Okay. Now, one last thing. I have been playing with beads and making beaded faces. When I say playing, I've made one. But I really thought that would be fun. So it's muslin, and I'm sewing beads onto a piece of muslin that is backed with, I don't know what this is. Sue gave this to me. I'm going to ask her exactly what kind of stay stitching it is. Is it interfacing? It's more like paper. I don't have any of that, but, so I did one, and now I want to see if I can do better. Hey, oh my goodness. Come on in and say hi to everyone.
Don't bother you. I'm going out to get on TV.
Good. Oh my goodness. Everyone, this is our good friend Mark.
I'm a walking billboard. I've been all across the country and the world.
Wait, come down. They can't see you.
I'm a walking billboard. I've worn this shirt every Friday all across this country for the past year. And I just came back.
Here, sit right here.
No, he's sitting with me.
Sit right here. Okay, say hi.
Hi.
Hi. You just came back. You've been all around the world.
Around the country.
What was the most spectacular thing you saw?
Just driving the West Coast. Just get in the car and drive the Big Sur. That's only 52 miles. You could do it back and forth in one day, but I went all the way.
Nepenthe.
I went to Monterey. I went
Big
to Carmel.
Yeah.
I went to the Big Red Woods, and I went everywhere. Let's put it this way. I ended up in Montana.
Oh.
Went up. It turned to Near Bay, Washington, became Canadian radio. So I took a right. Then I went down Idaho, right? Yep. And I ended up in Spokane, Washington. Then I caught a ferry to Seattle, and I saw him throwing the fish. And I saw him.
I went
up into Seattle.
You did?
Yeah. I went to every baseball stadium, every football stadium, every hockey stadium, up the west, across, down. I didn't, except for Dallas. I didn't go to Dallas. Well, it wasn't in Dallas.
You'll be back there, all wearing the shirt?
On Fridays. I had this one, or I have a blue one also, but it's got paint on it because I wore it working. I got a purple. This is my favorite color. Anyway, I'll let you keep doing your show.
Okay.
I'm so glad that you tell them all that you're retired and this is all you do is hang out.
Well, yeah.
Oh, now you know. Hello,
Thanks for coming by. I love
Thanks
you
for
too.
having me on the show.
Careful of
How many
iron.
followers now? 4 million?
Yeah, close to that. We don't count anymore. Thanks, Mark.
You look terrific.
Bye.
See you, babe. Thanks for the shirt.
You're welcome.
Wait,
Oh,
let me
make
just
sure-
see what you said I
What
was.
size?
I don't know. I'm curious what you
I
had.
didn't say.
Did you think you did?
2XL?
Did you really do that to me?
No,
You thought it was a 2XL? Oh, you know what? I don't even know what it
I
says.
just reached it.
No, you didn't. I'm just teasing.
I'll get, how about
It's a 3XL.
how
Excuse me.
about a 2XL? You want
No.
that's too big?
I want an XL, please.
You got it.
That's a little too big, XL. I'm losing weight.
I know, you
I
look
was eating
great.
rice and beans.
Really?
Oh, I'm sick of them. I'm just teasing. You don't have to give me one now. Do your show. What am I, in the middle of a stitch?
You are. You're in the middle of the stitch. Here, try that one on.
Is it? That's a 4XL. Yeah, I'm leaving. I think
Okay.
save me one.
All right.
I love you.
Bye.
Bye. Nice meeting you guys.
Okay. I couldn't find an XL. Oh, how funny is that? Haven't seen Mark in months, so that was very exciting. Anyway, I think on that note, oh, here's what we were going to do. One quick thing before we leave. So I want to do more of these beading faces for anyone who might still be out there. Thank you. That's exciting. That is one of Bob's high school friends who has been around the country. And what a crack up, he's wearing the t-shirt. Okay, so on eBay, I bought myself a stamp that is behind this. And I'm hoping that I can make more. Hey, it worked. It's very light, but that's what I wanted. And now what I have to do is do a zigzag all the way around it. And I have this interfacing behind it. So stay tuned. Ask me about it next week, and I'll see if I've made any progress. Okay, let's put this on. Thank you all for joining me. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Do what you love what you do, and I'll see you here next Friday night at 8 p.m. for clue number 7. Get psyched. It's a good one. Bye.